Okay, the stream is
But like he's not like Young. That's his name, Young,
Yeah.
from Ohio State, the defensive end.
redirecting to YouTube.
Oh,
Okay. And I believe we are now. Yep. Let me just copy the link over to Facebook, and
woo!
then we can get going.
Man,
I had prepared ahead of time, so okay, cool. And posting. So on YouTube, it's actually called Talkin Wrestling Season 5, Episode 2.
Oh,
Okay.
we're like a mini, like a series.
Yes.
We did 5 seasons.
I just guess.
There's no fun.
I think we were on like season 3 or 4. But
We're like Ozark level, except nobody watches us. And nobody's threatened to kill us. We don't have to like launder any money or anything.
And Spotify's being weird, so I mean we are live, but let me just get back to Spotify, and then
Oh.
I gotta find now I gotta find that freaking song.
It's a good song, Prebish.
It is. I'll give you that. The
Who sings that?
Marshall Tucker band.
Oh, that's right.
And for
I
those
forgot that.
that are tuning in, we are experiencing our normal technical difficulties, so just bear with us.
We should get these glitches out and right away just zing them with something. Next week we'll work on that.
Okay, Spotify. What the hell?
Can you hear the dog barking next door?
I did.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
hopefully he'll stop.
okay, Spotify not responding.
If not, it adds character flaws.
The dog barking.
Okay, let's try this again.
It's a little chilly. I'm still in shorts, a little cold. Maybe I should just toughen up. How about that?
Oh boy, oh boy. Gonna be an entertaining episode, ladies and gentlemen. That we promise. We promise.
I can't wait, man.
Yes. As soon as Spotify decides.
This will all be worth it. These 5 minutes where we're twiddling our thumbs, it'll be worth the wait.
Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna hit the music.
Go Happy Fosses.
You don't hear much flute, in a song anymore.
I'm just gonna shake my head. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Talkin Wrestling, Season 5, Episode 2. I am Rob Prebish, Greco Moses Prebish here, along with my buddies Mike Foss and John Goodbody.
Woo-woo!
In the background, that is the Marshall Tucker Band.
Also starring Marshall Tucker.
Fun fact about the Marshall Tucker Band, they
Special
played
guest star.
the concert venue in Hopewell a year or so ago.
Of course.
Yes. Hey,
We played that song over and over again.
Yes, probably. Well, they had another one.
Oh, I have to look that one up.
Yes. We got an action-packed episode. Well, not really. It's not an action series, but
Goodbody's frozen.
yeah, Goodbody. You froze. Wow,
That's quite an image.
there he is.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Serious Goodbody's here. Whoa.
So anyway, we've got an interesting episode ahead of us today. The main part of it is, fellas, we came up with 16 of the quintessential wrestling songs. And for our like 1 or 2 viewers, you'll notice that we do have a dedicated camera part of this Zoom meeting on the bracket. So hopefully you can read that.
The most impressive part of that, though, is Prebish, your handwriting, buddy.
Yes,
It's superb.
Prebish.
It's not
That
bad.
is-
That's how I write on my board at school. It's like everything has to be like normally like my regular handwriting you can see is just god awful.
It's not. That's still not bad. You seen Foss's handwriting?
No,
It's
It's
rough.
bad.
is it
It's like doctor-esque.
doctor-esque?
Yeah, I get it honestly from Pops. He doesn't have much of a handwriting either.
So eventually we are going to get to the quintessential wrestling song where we will determine what the number one wrestling song that you must listen to over and over again. But we've got some other things to talk about, including Vawa's YouTube page.
Fantastic right now, by the way.
Yeah,
It is.
that's good stuff.
I just uploaded another video today, actually before we went live, and it got a phone call from Brian Hazard, who's doing the coaches interviews.
I've listened to almost all those interviews, and it's like he's asking similar questions every time, but every coach has like a different spin on it, a different take on it because their schools are different.
Small school, big school,
Yeah, it's been a
really
lot
good
of
stuff.
fun to listen to. A lot of fun. And like it's just different because like a lot of those coaches, I don't really know like all of them, so it's kind of good to hear their take. And the new Emory and Henry coach, and hearing his take, and Coach Yetzer talking about Roanoke College, and obviously you had Garland and Roby. I don't know, is he getting Beasley on from George Mason?
I'm sure because Hazard is alumni of Mason, so he will definitely get the Beasley. If not Hazard, you need to get Beasley. Frank Beasley is an awesome guy.
He's top shelf.
So there's been some technique from Richmond Wrestling Club, from Ross Tomer, Ian Squires, from Hanover Hawkeye with Gabe LeVay and he went to
Kevin Donahue.
Kevin Donahue. Wow, I'm blanking on an alumni's name. They've been posting some technique there.
And then JD Gregory was in there. I think Christian Olenowski was in there. They were showing some stuff, just a lot of simple stuff about like approaching for Greco, and then some like gut wrench defense, and just some simple stuff, transition stuff to a lace. And it was a lot of fun though. It's just really short snippet videos. I think it's great for Virginia USA Wrestling to do things like that. And it's, to be honest with you, in this quarantine situation, it's actually kind of, I sent some of the stuff you're doing previous to one of our athletes, like I sent him the first four videos you did, and obviously I'm going to continue to do so. And it's actually working out pretty well.
Today's video that I put up there, guys, is, how to deal with being at the competition, talking about, from how you need to approach your after weigh-in meal, you approach your warm-up, when do I need to get ready to wrestle, what do I need to do to get ready to wrestle, all the way to like after the match, your cool down, talking about good habits to get into. And some of the cuts between, like, my editing wasn't really that good, so there's some pretty funny cuts that just jump around that y'all will laugh
To
at.
that point, Prebish, would you say that there's like a one size fits all on how to do that, or do you think that like depends on the athlete?
Well, I think that's actually a really good question. I think I kind of go in broad strokes. With obviously what you eat and drink after you weigh in, that's definitely up to the individual. Like, I don't know about your guys, but our guys like eat pancakes after they weigh in. I couldn't do that.
Pancakes.
I can't do that. And I can't drink straight Gatorade. Like, I'd have to water it down. I talk about Dennis Hall's principle of nibble and sip, instead of like taking the Gatorade and chugging it as fast as you can, and just trying to eat as much as you can. But like the warm up, depending on how your coaches are, I prefer a structured warm up, because the warm up has to be hard. Like, you look around and you see some of these guys when they warm up, it's just absolute garbage. But then like what you do to warm up, like what time, that's all on the individual. Even to the post-match cool down, like that's up to the individual. I just kind of throw out some ideas.
Our coaching staff, like, I mean, Coach Foss usually buys like the essential, like we'd usually do like an Italian dressing, like pasta, like cold pasta. And then obviously we get them like
Made by Chef
Pedialyte
B.
pops. We get them like, water. Get water, and all of a sudden, we get like peanut butter and some jelly, and like if they want to have that stuff throughout the bagels sometimes.
Yep.
Sometimes little gummies and stuff. Then some of our parents would have their, pack their
And that
kids.
gets to be a little bit more variety and more but I don't know necessarily in reading that you need a lot more, like a lot of variety after weigh-in.
Right.
Yeah, throughout the day you need to fuel, but
One thing as a coach, like I kind of like battle with and think about back and forth, like, with the warm up purposes. And, I see some programs, and we do it sometimes where we'll warm up before a weigh in. We'll get a light warm up in and then get a good blow after, they put some nutrition in or something. But then some events, we'll weigh in, we'll get nutrition in it, and then we'll try to get a good hard warm up in. So like the timing of ours varies a little bit. And I know that kind of messes up consistency, but as a coach, I think I adjust it event to event. Sometimes it's very structured, sometimes it's very individualized.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on the kids, depends on where
also
we are.
depends on the timing of the weigh-in. Like for our district matches, we only get an hour weigh-in, or like an hour between weigh-in and competition. So a lot of times we do it then, or if we have a short time, I noticed that we've done that.
We're the same way. What we did this past season, and it was great, was the before the weigh-in warm up and loosen up. And we tried to do it in the past, and kids were pretty resistant to it. This year, it was like everybody bought in. It was just like, okay, we get someplace early, and as soon as we walk in the gym, we're all putting our shoes on to get our pre-weigh-in warm up.
Yeah, I noticed that all the events, you guys were one of the first teams on the mat.
It's just something that we decided to do this year, and I think it's really helped benefit us, and it helps that our athlete leadership bought into it as well, and they made it much, much easier.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, you got to have that. And, I just think like the coaches that just leave their kids to their own devices to warm up are really doing a disservice. But, then think about those programs for the most part. Are they very, very successful? Probably not.
Or have I hate to this is probably a bad comparison, but are they developed programs? Are they developing, sort of like countries,
Or are they just, I coach from November to the end of February.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Wyoming Seminary, they do the pre-weigh-in warm-up. Then you look at Blair with Antonelli, he's actually out there during the warm-up barking things out to them,
Yeah.
And those are your top two teams in the country, public and private.
Yeah.
So it's got to say something,
Mhm.
They're doing something right.
So anyway, guys, if you have content, if you're bored, coaches, wrestlers, make a video. Tell us about what you're doing. Send it to Jack Harcourt, the VAWA executive director, and he'll put it up on the page. We need to have more clubs, more programs, more wrestlers engaging in this, just to kind of, we want to know what's going on. Like we're getting ready to do some interviews with our St. Chris wrestlers to talk about like how they're dealing with the quarantine and all that, and just to kind of get to know them a little bit better, and put that up on our social media just to get inside their heads a little bit and have some fun. So
like one thing like I found interesting is I looked at the former All-American list that you have up on the VAWA website. I kind of ran through it and was like kind of looking at all the years and all the names and all that stuff, because some of those names, like I don't even like, I guess like before my day and stuff, I didn't know they were all Americans at Fargo.
Oh yeah,
And the cadets and juniors. We have a significant history in Virginia USA Wrestling of producing all Americans, like names and stuff. Like I know, but I didn't know they placed out there.
Oh yeah, the funny thing is today, it's funny that you mentioned that, Good Body, is that during my faculty meeting, I needed something to amuse myself. So I exported all the All-American lists and started compiling a list of like who was, more than a 2-time All-American, all the way up. Like we've had guys place out there 5, 6, 7 times, at junior freestyle and Greco.
Yeah.
Brent Jones, he placed out there. Joey Dance placed at least 5.
Yeah.
And some of the younger guys, older guys, Jody Staler from my generation was a 4-time All-American out there. And it's cool to kind of go back and look at the history of it. One of the Mikowitz twins was like a 5-time All-American. So it's cool to see that. VirginiaWrestling.com, everybody, check it out.
It's ran by some schmuck.
Some
Schmoo.
that's sitting on some phone books, apparently.
So Lish is watching live. One Coach Lish, he's saying that in the 80s, you drank glucola after weigh-ins.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what glucola is.
It's probably something like glue, like GLU.
GLU cola.
So it's probably a fluid replacement that
Yeah.
similar to Gatorade. Like I drank this stuff called Exceed. That was really good. It was better than Gatorade because it had potassium and chloride.
Yeah.
Actually, in junior high, my post weigh-in meal in junior high was a 16-ounce glass bottle of Coke Classic
Oh,
and chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts.
Hey.
that's really good. You didn't burn through that or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad. And then like in high school up until like 11th grade, I would drink cran raspberry juice, like juice
Ooh.
boxes. And we
Yeah.
always ate bagels. I always ate bagels in high school. But like the cran raspberry juice boxes, I'd have 3 of them. So it was like 1.5 pounds of fluid and a couple of bagels. But then like junior and senior year, USA Wrestling partnered with Exceed, and their fluid replacement it actually tasted really, really good. So we used that.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this whole NCAA transferring thing going on.
Oh yeah, you and I would talk about this the other day, Preebs, with the transfer portal and stuff.
Right.
I think it's fantastic. I think it gives kids the opportunity where if they committed somewhere and it might not have been the best fit, it gives them the opportunity to maybe find a new home that's going to be better suited for them academically and athletically. Obviously, it's helping the ODU guys right now finding homes, like Killian Cardinal, going to West Virginia University. He wasn't a Virginia guy to begin with, but McGee's going out there to Arizona State. Shout out to Shooter out there. Was one of the coaches at the Lee Pritz. Good dude. But other than that, man, I mean, it's helping kids. I know Mitch Moore from Virginia Tech entered the portal. I know Katie Darber works out with him quite a bit. I know he's going to miss him. But again, it's going to give that kid an opportunity to go somewhere and
Has Moore decided on where to go yet?
What's up?
Has Moore decided on where he was going?
No. There's other announcements. I know that Ohio State got that new heavyweight Orndorff, and not related to. No.
Sorry.
But again, like Previous, what do you think of the transfer stuff? Like,
I think it's hard to know in that first year or so whether your school is a good fit. Obviously, like a lot of the big time kids in Virginia want to go to the big D1 programs. And when they get there, they realize that it's not all sunshine and roses for them, and it may not necessarily be a good fit. I can look back at my career. I probably, before I stopped wrestling at Millersville, I probably should have transferred somewhere else. I probably should have wrestled at a Division II or Division III college just to have a little bit, of a different kind of thing. But I think it's good that kids realize early on that if the school isn't a good fit for them athletically, that they find a place where they feel comfortable. Now, if you're a serial transfer guy, that's a problem. That might be something on you. Like there was a guy that a Pennsylvania guy that started at West Virginia, transferred to Lock Haven, transferred to Iowa. And like
those are red flags there.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
that they can't make it academically. I feel really bad for these ODU guys that have eligibility left that have to scramble and find a place to wrestle. But, fortunately, schools have been like really, really good and welcoming to them. So
You had that kid from ODU, Sedarian Perry, who was an All-American for him. He was at where was he at? He was at Easton, Michigan when they dropped their program. And one of the reasons he was an All-American for him, then they dropped the program, and then he goes to ODU, and I think he was about to graduate, but they dropped the program.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you imagine being that kid? Like, I mean, that's tough,
That's not good.
That's not fortuitous.
You also see, like, talking about ODU, you see that they're auctioning off their wrestling mats.
Unbelievable.
And
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're auctioning off their wrestling mats. And if anybody in Virginia, has any semblance of a soul, you will not buy that mat, those mats or anything from the university.
I'd like to buy Steiny's mat though. Get that going.
That's a decent mat.
Yeah, Steiny's little Dolomer, that he's gonna he's gonna sell to you like the cost he bought it back in the day.
Yeah.
$500.
Mr. Supply and Demand there.
Yeah.
Milton Friedman there trying to get me
jacking up the prices, not looking at the market.
It's like, I don't know.
Let's see. So, hopefully these guys will find places where they feel comfortable, and really have the wrestling take off.
So Scott Lish says that it's a pure glucola, and it's for diabetics. And then he inserted an expletive, calling me a name, dumb, and then another name for donkey, because I didn't know what glucola was. I don't need that.
You didn't deserve that,
Lish.
You didn't deserve
To
that.
each other.
For $3,500 a mat, I'm buying it. I don't care what y'all say. Hopefully, Kurt, that's Steiny's mat, not the ODU mat.
Steiny's isn't worth $3,500. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He needs to come down a bit on that one.
There's a lot of things he needs to come down.
I was Steiny's best man. He should just give me the mat.
That was a fun wedding. We could do a whole podcast on that wedding. That was a lot of fun.
That wedding was great. My best man speech was solid.
Coach, if you have to tell yourself you're solid, were you really solid?
Yes. I got my hand raised on that speech.
In your mind. Yeah, I don't even remember it. It probably was good, but I'm just saying.
It's all about being up here. It's confidence, Voss. Confidence.
It is.
I don't remember it either, but that was a long time ago. Speaking of top shelf guys, let's talk a little bit about Ed Metzger. Ed has had some health. For those of you who are watching, hopefully you know that Ed Metzger, assistant wrestling coach at Cosby. He's the Virginia Wrestling Association athletic trainer. He's had some health issues.
Awesome guy.
Quadruple bypass surgery last year. Yeah.
Last I heard, he was in recovery. He seems like he's at home doing well. You said you were texting with him the other day for his birthday too. Ed was my youth wrestling coach. I've known him for a very, very long time. He was college teammates with my brother's high school coach. Again, he's drained a good amount of New Kent kids' ears, and I've known him for years. And he's just a great advocate
every year
wrestling. And, him and Stefanko, they're staples here in Virginia. And Coach Stefanko sent me an email the other day and kind of filled me in. And, they have a little you can Venmo and send donations to Coach Stefanko, and he has the address to reach out to Ed. Ed he's doing well though. He's recovering, but again, he's the man, and he has made such an impact on this sport, especially here in Virginia.
Yes.
And it's it's kind of sad and a little bit scary to hear and see, but that guy's tough as nails, so I think he'll be all right.
Absolutely, yeah. He seemed to. His normal feisty self when I texted him.
That's your Fargo roommate, Preebs.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot.
Who's Big Spoon? That's the question.
You guys probably went and closed down the Bison Turf a couple times.
Yeah. Who's Big Spoon, Preebish? You?
Do I look like a big spoon? Do I look like a big spoon?
Oh man.
Nice.
Yeah. Ed, we want you to continue to get better. You're in your thoughts and all that, but we know that, you're a badass New York guy. So, you'll pull through. So to Ed.
To Ed, love him.
To Ed. There's a lot of squirrel action in my backyard right now.
Squirrel action?
A lot of squirrels, I think.
So let's get to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble here.
Let's get physical.
Oh my goodness.
For those people that are watching, you have to know that in one of our final, I think it was that season 4 where we did the generals.
That was fantastic.
All our seasons bleed into one. I don't even know if we have seasons.
So we had this great idea of picking out 16 of of generals from throughout history and putting them on a bracket and determining which one of those generals would win if it was a wrestling tournament. And it was a lot of fun, even though people were like, "Well, this is stupid." We're history nerds. I thought it was great.
It came down to Patton. And the Desert Fox.
And Rommel.
And then Patton won.
Both tank commanders.
What's that?
Both tank commanders.
Yeah.
How about
we
that?
have a preference for tank commanders.
Exactly.
Tank commanders.
So we decided, I had this great Wednesday show of, music is a big, big, important thing with wrestling, whether you have music on in the practice room. When I was in high school back in the Stone Age, our coaches would not let us listen to music in the room or like to have anything to warm up to. Times have changed.
Who controls the music at St. Chris right now? Is that Ross?
It depends. It usually Ross. If the kids bring up a phone or something, I'm sorry, fellas, it's garbage. You cannot work out to the stuff that they listen to. Like when I'm thinking of like songs to work out to for wrestling, like it's a very narrow scope. It's like it has to be loud, aggressive. It has to be like really kind of like an intense beat, like a lot of metal. Now there are a lot of different types of metal. Like I can't listen to this mumble rap stuff that the guys want to work out to.
Mumble rap.
I thought the best mix, Goodbody was Trent Raglan used to have all those 80s songs on there. I thought that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Solid effort.
I hate it when I like run. Actually, we did do a disco Saturday where I had a disco playlist for life students at Meadowbrook. Like when at Goodbody you're frozen.
Oh.
No, you're not. Okay, you're just paused. You look like you Saturday, and they actually kind of liked it. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So what we did for our people out there that are watching is each of us came up with a list of like 5 songs. And since it was my idea, I came up with a 6th song. So we have 16 songs that we put on the bracket. And you'll notice that it is one of our, you can look at the bracket on the screen. Maybe you might be able to make it out. And we seeded the top 10 teams. Wow.
Top 10 songs, buddy.
Top 10 songs. And we're going to argue and discuss which one of these songs should be the ultimate wrestling song.
Hear me out, though.
Okay.
Like, this was tough for me. Like, I am a metalhead. Music I like is like my weight. It is heavy. Like, I like stuff that screams at me. Not everyone's going to be into that. So I had to kind of think about it a little bit more for the people. The people.
So does that mean like your music taste has changed over the years?
No, it's always been heavy, though.
I was going to say, like, when you were in high school, what did you listen to, like AM light rock?
No. I listen to stuff that's screaming at me.
Didn't help you against Coelho, but
Whoa. He was a pesky legger, Prebish. He was a pesky legger.
Yeah, and you guys both weigh the same now, but
he's jacked up.
Professional bodybuilder.
Oh, wow.
He's
in California, right?
He's freaking yoked. Anyway, all right. So let's start off with our number 1 seed. Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses, going up against my personal favorite, the Jewish Elvis himself, Neil Diamond, and America. Discuss, fellas.
All right, obviously we know who's going to take this one, but the fact that Neil, the Jewish Elvis Diamond, that just sounds pretty tough. But I think you can't beat "Welcome to the Jungle" right now. You know, like it's an essential like wrestling song. It's probably in most wrestling rooms across the country.
Yeah.
You know, we've had it play in the New Kent Wrestling Room.
Mm.
Mike Raglan would agree.
Mm.
Yeah. It's probably like almost borderline cliche.
Yeah.
You know.
So that gets the win there.
Yeah.
No 116 upset. We're not going to pull the UVA basketball there.
Voss, how much of Neil Diamond America could you sing though?
Oh, I could sing most of it.
Oh, I don't remember it. It's not Sweet Caroline or.
God, I hate Sweet Caroline.
And what's the other one? Sunday song or Sunday, the song about Sunday that he does. That's really good. It's a good one though. It is about. I think he was only a second generation Neil Diamond.
One of my favorites. Come on, get with it. You love Neil Diamond.
He's not going to upset.
No, I know.
But yeah.
Saw Neil Diamond in concert. He was freaking amazing.
Yeah. And we go to see the cover band every now and then.
Diamond Heist.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Did you ever see Saving Silverman?
Yes, Saving Silverman.
They have one on there.
Great, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the 8-9 matchup.
Okay.
All right, we got a metal battle here. We got Thunderstruck, AC/DC, going up against Pantera and Walk.
I'm going Pantera Walk.
Why?
And here's why. Because I'm not an AC/DC guy.
Okay.
Like, I'm just not. Pantera Walk, like, just has that, like, tempo. You can warm up to it. You can walk out to it. Literally, the song is called Walk. You know, it hits. It's heavy. You could hand fight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderstruck, like, yeah, it gets the crowd going, but no, not essential to wrestling.
Thunderstruck is a fantastic walkout song. You know, because you've got the beginning and like once
we're not talking about the Mannheim Holiday Tournament here, previous.
I'm not talking about the
Three-time champ, show some respect.
I'm not talking about the Mannheim Holiday Tournament. I'm talking about like for a dual meet or something. You can't tell me that. Well, you cannot tell me that that doesn't start to get you freaking pumped up. I know if I'm out in the hallway getting ready to run in and I hear this start going on like really, really loud, man, I'm getting freaking in the zone. And you can, if you look in and you see the crowd, they're getting into it. And wait, you gotta wait for the drum. Once you hear that.
But does it transition well to practice?
Yes.
We're talking practice.
It's a good opening to practice. Come on, you can't tell me.
Boss, you gotta sway this.
I'm a tiebreaker, and I have to go with Thunderstruck too because I'm an AC/DC guy. Not like a big fan, but more of a fan of AC/DC than Pantera.
Is anyone listening going to be on my side? The three people.
So. All the two people that are listening right now.
So we have our first upset, guys.
All right.
9th.
A 9-8.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
What we got next?
Hang on. I got to update the bracket.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Look at the yellow post-it.
Boom. All right. So our next matchup is the number 5 seed Rage Against the Machine with Bomb Track going up against the Japan Droids, Fire's Highway.
Mm.
All right. Foss's pick, Japan Droids, great song.
Right.
Great song. Gets the people going. But no one in the world knows who the Japan Droids are.
No idea who they were.
That is a thing. Did you not know, Prebish?
No.
You know, but that Rage Against the Machine song,
Yeah.
that would get a wrestling room going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I it was one of my choices. But look, when I listened to the Fire's Highway, like I really really liked it. And I thought it would be a good song to add to the repertoire.
It's a great song.
I think Japan Droids have a lot of good songs that would be for wrestling, but the reason I put it on there is that, like, the Japan Droids, and this is the best song this is my favorite.
Right.
Is this the one when I'm training for running? It's the one where I'm doing my intense workouts. It's what I'm listening to.
Okay. So, good buddy, who you taking?
I'm going Rage.
Okay.
Again, it's Rage Against the Machine. Like, I feel like they're gonna go far in this tournament. Like I didn't think about that song when I was making my picks, Prebes, and you got your hand raised on that one. That was
But I'll tell you what, it was my choice, but I'm going with the Japan Droids. I'm going with
Fire's Highway gets the upset.
Oh, is that who you're going with?
Oh, I'm definitely. It was my pick, so.
Are you guys kidding me?
No.
I don't think that's the best System of a Down song.
Oh, it's not. It's Rage Against the Machine, Foss.
Rage Against the
Boss,
that's where my problem was.
Take your ass, run yourself down to Grant Street, go stand there, wait for a car.
Might take a while. It's not busy now with the quarantine going on.
We have another upset.
All right.
Okay. All right.
This is something to talk about.
Okay. Fire's Highway. Okay. Next one is This Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage going up against the classic John Waite song from Vision Quest, Change.
Who seeded this damn bracket?
We did.
Yeah, we decided that Change was number 4.
Unbelievable.
I'm going with Change, Loudon Swain, hitting the pegboard, buddy.
All right.
Which, by the way, Matthew Modine did not use a stunt double. He did that on his own.
Yes.
All right, here we go. I'm going to give my pitch.
Okay.
All right, because Killswitch Engage, obviously one of my favorite bands. That song, again, you play it. It's a good song to come out to. Good at walkout song. It's good for the wrestling room. Great live goes. You got to think about the live goes, people. If Change wasn't in Vision Quest and it wasn't part of an epic, like an epic montage, would it be your pick?
But it was.
No, you're damn it, boss.
And it was part of an epic montage.
I'm gonna go with Change too, and that hurts. That hurts, guys.
And here's my thing about This Fire Burns that killed it for me. CM Punk.
Hey.
Oh.
You can't doubt the band for getting paid. And that's not even the best Killswitch Engage song. The only reason I put it on there because people know it a little bit more than the regular stuff. Killswitch has some great stuff. My sister's wedding song was a Killswitch Engage song. So
if I'm going for a WWE song, I'm going with Real American, or I'm going with the Ultimate Warriors Walkout. I'm not CM Punk, no. He tried to do MMA and got his ass kicked.
He did.
Horrible.
All right.
He was entertaining as hell in WWE, though.
Well, yeah, because he's an actor.
All right.
All right, so we have the top bracket.
Got the bottom bracket.
So we've got 2 of our quarterfinals set up. All right, so let's Let me shut this thing off. All right, next song, our number 3 seed. We've got Enter Sandman, Metallica, going up against Like Eating Glass, Block Party.
Okay.
I'm going
I'm
Enter
happy.
Sandman.
Black Party was my pick. Again, can you hear me as an airplane overhead?
Yeah, we got you, boss.
Going into Richmond. I didn't know they were flying planes right now. Block Party was my pick. Again, it's something I listen to when I'm training pretty hard when running. But I got to go with number 3 there.
Yeah, me too.
So
it's just such a good song. You figure like what really got me is last year when we went to Christiansburg, wrestled Christiansburg at Castle Coliseum, and then stuck around to watch Tech wrestle Pitt. It'd been a long time since I've been to a college dual meet, and when they dimmed the lights and you heard the opening bars of Enter Sandman, and then you see little Joey Prada come running out. Sold.
awesome.
Yep.
That is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That is a no-brainer. That song is like, it stood the test of time, Like, and the Black Album is not a great Metallica album. It's good. It's not a great Metallica album, but
it's their last good album before like they went really commercialized.
That song though, I mean, that's essential in a lot of wrestling rooms and wrestling dual meets and tournaments and stuff. So I think that's
I think it's up there with Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
So
like as far as cliche, almost cliche.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so next one we've got Slayer, Rain and Blood, or is it Raining Blood?
Raining Blood.
Raining Blood, because Rain and Blood's the name of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against our number 6 seed, Lunatic Fringe, Red Rider.
How come every songs I've chosen have gone against each other?
Oh, you picked Lunatic Fringe?
No,
that was a double up.
Now, here we go. All right. The reason I put Raining Blood in this list, again, I'm a metalhead, is for the team I was coaching in 2007, 2008. This is what they chose to run out to, and it was pretty impressive. We didn't have a lot of guys on that team, but that was a tough group of kids. They trained hard. They did a lot of the right things. Right. They competed hard. And, a lot of people, it was at Manchester High School, and that was a good, talented group. A couple state placers. One of those kids placed at Super 32 back in the beginning of Super 32 a couple times. But we didn't even have a full team, and we were still very, very competitive with a lot of people. And that was the song that they came out to. So I was just kind of giving them a shout out there. And it's just a hell of a song. It's a great song, great interest song. But again, it's not going to be probably played in a lot of wrestling rooms. You're not going to really want to drill to it much. You might want to listen to it before you go live, maybe, but not while you're going live. Right. There's a lot going on there. A lot of fast drums, fast guitars. So you got to go Lunatic Fringe here. That's again, a quintessential Vision Quest song.
Boss, who you going with?
I'm going to go Lunatic Fringe, even though it's my least favorite of the Vision Quest songs.
Okay. Yeah, it's when you're talking about the Vision Quest soundtrack, it's probably like the most cliche. It's a good song, but funny thing is, like anytime I would listen to that before I wrestled, I'd go out and lose. So, all right, so this next quarter we're gonna have Enter Sandman and Lunatic Fringe. All right, let me put that on the board. And for those of you following at home, we are doing the Ultimate Wrestling Song Bracket Tournament. If you don't like these choices, you can chime in on our Talkin Wrestling page on Facebook, and maybe we can put up a poll or something. So our next first round match, I think, is one of the most intriguing matchups. We've got our number 7 seed, Understanding a Car Crash by Thursday, going up against the techno solid favorite, Sandstorm by Darude. Who you got?
All right. This was Foss's choice. He chose Thursday, which is a great band. Seen him live. Foss, I'll be honest with you, has a wide range of music taste. The guy, it's pretty eclectic for an eclectic fella.
Eclectic.
But
It's eclectic. Woogie, woogie.
But I will say this. I'm going to go with Thursday here over Sandstorm.
Mm.
Just because, again, most wrestlers are going to go Sandstorm. But I feel like that Thursday song, if you go, people at home, go listen to it. Check it out.
It's intense.
It's an intense song.
The subject matters intense.
Lyrics. It has a good beat to it. You can drill to it. You can go live to it. You can probably not the best walkout song, but again, that's my pick.
Beginning, that beginning is intense, but then it, like when it hits a song, it's not much of a walkout song. When it's actually lyrics.
Who you going with, Foss?
Oh, Thursday.
That's who I went with also.
That a boy, Prebish.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Woo.
Not only is it unanimous, but we all three picked it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Now his voice is a little weird.
Yeah.
It's like a little like that was like kind of like that post-hardcore stuff going on there. Like it was kind of a weird time for music. Like I was a huge Thursday fan. I like the band Glassjaw too. So
it kind of sounded a little bit like Les Punk, Blink 182,
yeah.
or the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh,
there's a band.
I was not a huge fan of them.
No, I dated a girl that loved them, so yeah.
Oh boy, that'd be a good podcast.
Loves you, Prebish.
Girls that Prebish dated. That'd be a good one.
That'll be our next bracket.
Oh my God. Yeah, watch the movie Good Luck Chuck first, and then we'll go. Then we'll
I gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So our last first round matchup, we've got the band For Today with Devastator going up against our number 2 seed, Only the Young from Germany.
No brainer.
Again, I struggled with this doing these songs, man. I'm a metalhead, but the intro is so good for Devastator.
Loud and swaying in the sauna suit, running across the bridge.
Christian metalcore band. Great message in their songs, and again, that song you could go live to it. We can have it as a walkout song. You can drill to it. You can warm up to it. I'm telling you, give that a listen. But again,
I don't know, man.
Only the Young is getting its hand raised. Like we all know it.
I feel like I might put on a sauna suit and run across the Shako Bottom Bridge just because I love that song.
That is probably the best song. My favorite song on that soundtrack.
Me too.
You know, Journey also great live band.
Yeah.
Even with Armo Pineda, who's their fourth lead singer.
He's still good.
Yeah, he's still good.
Yeah, he sounds like Perry. Yeah. All right, so we're going with Only the Young. I couldn't get past the growling from Devastate. I just to me that's just like.
It's because your eardrums are soft, Prebish.
No, my eardrums are not soft. Not soft. I listened to Metallica when they were considered satanic. All right, back in the day. All right, so we have our quarterfinals set.
So I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
What's up?
Even though that this should have been, what if we kept it here and let people talk about it for the week, and then we'll do the quarterfinals next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna have people listen to the podcast. They can forward to when we're talking about, see what they think, see what they would have thought with our top 16 or our 16, matchups.
Quarters, like who are the best?
Or they could talk about quarters. They could talk about the ones we already did, or they could talk about the ones coming up.
I think you're right, Foss. We were just going to run through this whole tournament, but I think you're
late. We're almost an hour now.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Probably a good show. What I can do is on the Facebook page is maybe I'll put the quarterfinal matchups and have people vote on who they think they should win, and then I mean, that could be like a determining part of the vote. See
Yeah,
what the
I
people
like it.
if people actually
for
vote.
the people, for the
Like,
people.
And if no one, responds, we'll just continue doing our thing and having fun
Yeah,
with it.
then
Then
it is
screw
what it
ya.
is. I'm sure Lish will probably vote.
And
Yeah.
Jones will vote, and Swink, will vote.
Yeah, all the three of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Hazard, when he's not doing all those interviews, maybe he'll have time to vote.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Have it,
We
guys.
need to have him on.
We
What if
do.
he'll lower himself? He'll probably wear a tiara while he talks to us, but yeah, that's fine.
We definitely got to bring on those guys. We got to bring on Hazard. We got to bring on Swink. We got to bring on Coach Motley. We should bring on Joey Prada and BC. Just let them talk about some things.
Oh yeah.
And people post out there who else want to talk to. I mean, we can get these guests in. I want to kind of do this a little bit more often and kind of get this thing rolling again. It's so much fun just kind of sitting here and just doing what we usually do out in public. And
it's good to see other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like a good stopping point, guys. So
All right.
You know who I want to talk to? John Gordon.
Oh gosh.
Prevish.
Really building something out here. Actually, Andrew Farrer posted something on. Oh, there was a tweet. Excuse me, a tweet.
Twit.
No, Farrer, you're not a twit. No, there was a tweet. Willie Saylor's been going off about weight classes and grades, blah blah blah, and Andrew Farrer made the comment that they should bring back 8th graders to the National Prep Tournament, which is something that the National Prep Board decided to do last year. So my response was like, hey, the National Prep Board said, yes, 8th graders are back in. And then it was followed by like the top 3 things that JG would say to people, like, hey, it's good to see you. And hey, fellas,
wrestling.
Hey, good job. That's good for the sport. And, hey, his body looks fit. He looks good in that singlet. I mean, I can come up with a list of the top 10.
My favorite is, hey, Prevish, that guy looks a little tight. Why don't you give him a back crack?
One of my favorite Gordon things was when Steve Sika coached with us. I think it was Ross Chitomer's first year, and we go to national preps. Yeah, Ross was there because Will Kelly. The skin check at national preps is pretty intense. We do it the night before, so we had 2 buses or something like they were still there, but I had to get in the bus and drive as fast as I could back to Stabler Arena, which is like 20 minutes from our hotel. I got to go through downtown Bethlehem and get Ross and Will Kelly to Sports Authority or Dick's because Will had ringworm all over his shoulder, and we had to get a compression shirt that we could have him wear and tape it so he could wrestle. So I drive as fast as I can, and when you're coming into downtown Bethlehem, you have to cross over one of the rivers. It might be like the Lehigh River. So there's a pretty big bridge, and I'm just like driving really, really, really fast, and it kind of comes at a turn, and I didn't make the turn as well as I should have and hit the curb probably at about 45 or 50 miles an hour with the tire. Okay. Go pick them up and all that good stuff, get it all taken care of. The next morning, so it's Friday morning, we're getting up, we're getting ready to go back up there for weigh-ins, and there is a gash in one of the tires like about that big. And I knew exactly what it was from. Like Gordon was like, somebody knifed our bus. I'm like, no, JG, no, it was me. I think I hit a curb. Like, I should go get it fixed. And he made Steve Sika go get it fixed. Exact word. I was like, John, I'm like, I feel really bad about, making Sika go get it fixed and missing all the rest. And he's like, it's okay. It's all good. He's like, you're much more important. I need you here with me.
Poor Sika. No wonder why he needs to continue to coach there.
Yeah.
Steve Sika. Yeah. So that was got a lot of
one thing. Like he's doing all right out there though at his school. What is it? Western Reserve Academy.
Got good kids. Freed coaching with him.
Yeah.
Which definitely helps. Freed's a really good coach.
Yeah, that's a guy who was a stud who a lot of people don't talk about.
Oh, I know. And he was a quiet guy too.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like John introduced me to Alan at National Preps, and Alan was like, "Yeah, I've known Rob forever." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So, all right. So here's what I'll do. I will put the quarterfinal matchups on the Talkin Wrestling Facebook page. Y'all can vote about it and discuss and argue which one of these songs out of these matches should move on, and we can do the same for the semis and finals.
Awesome.
Sound good?
I like
We're
it.
on it.
All right, so I am going to stop the YouTube live for those people that have been watching. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
See you probably next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Hey, I might be able to catch the beginning of Survivor. Very nice.
Ooh.
So yeah, YouTube live people, spread the word, please. And the more viewers, the more entertaining it will be, and we'll try to let us know who you want to see on this.